Good to go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the local officer training session for Individual Development Vice President. Today, we are going to go over some tips to become an awesome IDVP for your chapter. So let's get started. There we go. So this is me. I'm your trainer today. I've been a Palatine JC since August 2015. I've held the position of local director. I've actually been an IDVP for the chapter. ID is very, very much a passion of mine. So a couple of years ago, me and another JC member actually did introduced the first year-long ID project for Palatine that we're really excited about that we were able to do that. In my everyday life, I'm a marketing lead for cybersecurity at UL. So marketing is a passion of mine as well. And I've studied marketing and management at Hood College in Maryland. I'm a transplant from the Maryland area into the Chicago market. So it's a little bit about me as your trainer. So let's go over what we're going to kind of cover today. We're going to go over IDV responsibilities for anybody that's already been an ID. Some of this will sound familiar. Hopefully you can still pick up a few tips along the way. For anybody that is looking to become an IDVP, hopefully this will help you with some of the things that you're going to have to do while you are IDVP. We'll go over some idea generation. As we know, sometimes these ideas don't just grow on trees. So how do we actually get ideas for running in this area? And then we'll actually give you some ideas for personal skill development and professional skill development. I'm not going to leave you hanging without any ideas on here. So we'll give you some so that you can take away with you today. And then once you have those ideas, we'll go over how to actually implement them, the planning, the executing, the evaluating of those ideas for ID projects. And then we'll go a little bit into promoting ID to your chapter and making everybody excited about it. Again, I have that marketing background, and marketing your area and making people excited about individual development is something that I hold dear to my heart. So without further ado, let's go over some of these responsibilities. First and foremost, we all know IDVP their biggest responsibility is to supervise training projects for leadership development, as well as professional and personal skills. That is your main goal, is to supervise the trainings and be a mentor to your project chairs. And then on top of that, attend your board meetings. Those are usually monthly. And then attend your chapter's general membership meetings. Those are also monthly. So those are two of the big things that are required of you, are the first three things that are required of you as being a IDVP. And then on top of that, promoting your actual ID projects that are in your area, helping your chairs promote them, so doing that as needed. If you submit a chapter plan to the state on a trimester basis, you're in charge of the ID section of that chapter plan. If your ID projects have committee meetings, you'll definitely want to attend those, and just be available to your project chairs anytime they need you. Just tell them that you're there, that through email, phone, however that they can get a hold of you. Be very much a supportive and mentor-like IDVP. I always feel that goes a long way. And then above attending the projects in your own area, attend your projects and events in other areas. Attend as many as you can. Be visible to your chapter. That's part of being a VP in general. So just make sure you attend as many as you can and be there, and kind of, you also use that time to promote your projects too. And then the last three are attending events, so regional events that are typically quarterly. These are nice to have. If you can make them, fantastic. State events, your General Assembly meetings that happen every trimester too. Again, they're great to attend. And national events, if you can attend them too, is great. You can meet other IDs from your state or nationally, IDVPs from your other state or nationally, and get ideas from them and learn what works best for them. And you just get a chance to learn more and come with new ideas and other ideas you can bring to your chapter. So I really strongly suggest you attend the events when you can. So let's move into ideas. So where do you find them? Again, they just don't grow on trees sometimes, and you're not just going to get, some members won't just come up and say, hey, I want to teach a chapter this. That would be great if that happened all the time, but we all know that doesn't happen. So some ideas on how to get ideas. You can survey your chapter members. I know that Google has a free survey feature that you can actually put a survey together and send it out to your chapters, and they can chapter members, and you can survey them and ask them what they want to learn. Ask members at GMs, hey, what do you want to learn about? Ask your board. And the board meetings are, going over business, but also have them help you figure out ideas. I remember as a board member and for ID, I would be like, guys, does anybody have any ideas for anything to do for ID? And then especially I put on calling out the membership VP. I had a really good relationship with our membership VP, and every time she was doing renewals, I asked her to ask the members, hey, is there anything that you do that you would want to share with the chapter, and maybe run an ID project? And we actually were able to run an ID project. From my membership VP sent me a member that was renewing and said, hey, she's done network, or she's a recruiter for a large company and would be happy to do a project on how to write a resume. And so, by working with your membership VP closely during that renewal phase, you can find out and probe and get some information from your members about what they, maybe what they do in their professional life that they could teach your members. The state ID monthly challenge handout, my year as IDVP, there was a handout from state that was just fabulous. It had ideas every month and a theme every month. Kim King actually put together one for you guys this year. I'll show it to you in a moment. That has just lots of really good ideas and lots of themes for every month, or themes for every month, that you can just pull out ideas from if you're struggling to find ideas. So I'll show that to you in a moment. And then again, like I previously said, attend the GAs and national conventions to hear what other chapters are doing and steal their ideas. It's a fair game. If somebody does something well in another chapter, try to do it in your chapter. And then obviously that's lots training. Like I said, I'm not going to leave you hanging without some ideas. But first, let me show you the document, the handout that Kim put together. So here's your IDVP challenge for 2022. February is almost over, but don't, you can run these projects in other months. You don't have to do them in the month that they're listed here. So February is American Heart Month. So she has some projects listed in here, ideas for things to do during, that are themed around heart healthy, money, or March is money making, April shower, so on and so forth. And it's a 2-page document. You can get this from Sarah, your membership VP. She has it, and Kim also has it. We'll, at the end of this, we'll figure out where they're going to put this document for everybody to access for the year. But we'll talk about that at the end. But know that that document is available. And when I was IDVP, it was incredibly helpful for idea generation. All right, so let's move on to actual ideas. So if you're stuck and you can't think of anything, you've got that handout for 2022 that I just showed you. But here's a whole list of ideas that, for personal skills, lifestyle and hobby workshops, cooking, beer brewing, photography, book clubs, fitness clubs, automotive repair, home improvement, camping, stress management, personal branding. Ideas are endless. I just wanted to give you guys a list to start with that are kind of ideas for personal skills. And you can read through this on your own. And then also for professional ideas. So sales training, and these more come from, your chapter's members' professional lives. If you can find somebody that does something in one of these areas and use their professional experience and teach it to the chapter, that is always great. So some ideas: sales training, marketing, social media, resume writing, dress for success, organization, goal setting. And then I want to note the JCI skill competitions at the bottom. My IDVP year, I didn't realize we should do trainings on these. And I feel like I missed the boat. So I don't want you to miss it. So every year, if you're new to the JCs, they at GAs, they do these competitions: write up, speak up, debate. Your state admin VP this year, which is Jesse for 2022, would know more about these. But you could run some projects around how do you do the write up, how do you do the speak up, and give some tips on how to best go into these competitions. So then you can actually take part in the competitions. And the thing about taking part in these is they go towards your passport to civic leadership degree. So if you you partake in one, you can check that off on your passport to civic leadership, and advance your degrees by doing them. So they're really worth doing. They also make you stronger in your professional life, having to speak up and get up and in front of people and speak on a topic or debate. They're really good, valuable lifelong skills as well. So, we've now gone through and we've given you ideas. How do you implement them? The step-by-step to implementing these. So the first is pre-project is planning phase. Um, so you're going to have to find a project chair and a project leader. The project chair, who is in charge of the PMG and the planning, doesn't always need to be the person giving the training or the project leader, right? So most of the time they are one and the same, but they don't have to be. So your project chair, though, does have to be a chapter member. So you're going to want to find somebody that can chair the project. If they are the person teaching the skill, fantastic. But if not, you can look to, I gave a list of other places you can look to. So you can look at associates. Associates are a really great resource. They've been around, they probably have really lifelong skills that they've learned along the way. So tap into them. Ask your local chapter board members again, do they know anybody? Can they actually do the training? Again, your membership VP that knows your chapter members the best could be a really great resource for finding a project leader. Ask your state board members, do they have skills that they can you can tap into, or do they know a member from another chapter that can be the project trainer or leader? And then research your local resources. Your local chamber of commerce has a ton of professionals that could come and teach something. So tap into your local resources and make sure you look there. So then once you found your project chair and a trainer, if they're different or maybe the same, but once you find somebody to run the project and lead the project, you're going to want to have a kickoff call with your project chair. And I guess I should caveat all of this with that this is what worked for me as an IDVP. So, I just want to put that in there, that this is kind of what worked for me when I was ID. So I would have a kickoff call with the project chair, discuss the outline of training. What exactly are they going, what exactly do they plan to have within the training? Dates, times, locations, resources. Do they need, is it going to be virtual? Do they need Zoom setup? Do they need a budget? What other logistics or marketing do they need help with? What kind of money do they need to spend to make this a successful project? So you're going to want to talk all of that through with your project chair. And then, once you've figured all that out and you've had your talk with your project chair, if they have somebody that the trainer is separate from them, and if you want to be a part of that conversation with the trainer as well, offer to be there and available to speak, all three of you, or again, like if the project chair is the leader, just the two of you, but just be available to have a conversation with the trainer as well. So then, you've had that all figured out. It's time to complete the planning part of the PMG. So especially if a member is new, you'll want to go over the different areas of the PMG and what is expected within each of those areas. Help them through them, guide them through it. And then go ahead and let the chair complete the PMG. I feel like that's the best way to learn, is have them do it first. And then I ask them to submit it to me. And then I review the PMG, go through, make some revisions, show them the revisions I would make. If they're okay with all of them, then we can submit the final to the board. And then actually have your chair, if they're available, present to the board and at the GM to get the project approved. This is a good learning experience for getting up in front of people and presenting the project. So, ask them to be available to do that. And then also give them, if they're new members, let them know how the meetings are going to progress and how they go, and what they need to say when they're presenting their project. Give them a heads up and some information about that, so they're not deer in the headlights when they get to a meeting and don't know how to present. So help them through that. So we've planned the project. Now we are into the actually doing the project and the post project, so the executing and the evaluating phase of the project. So once a project has been approved, help your chair promote the project to the chapter. Does your chapter use email or newsletter or text, social media? Is there a calendar? However you guys communicate projects to the chapter, work with your chair to do those things, to get the word out there about the project. The last thing you want is a project that doesn't have anybody in attendance. And then another way to promote it is actually to have them speak during the GMs, have them create a flyer, have them create a sign-up sheet. Just really want to promote the project so you have really good attendance. That always feels good to have a good group of people there. And then next is actually attending the project. So, just 100% support your chairs, go to the projects, be there for them. And then ask your board members to attend too. You know, everybody is so in their own area that sometimes just simply asking them to attend, they'll be like, oh yeah, of course, of course, of course. So just make sure you ask them and have them show up and support your chair as well. And then after the project is complete, I always have a wrap-up call with the chair, kind of reviewing the evaluation section of the PMG, you know, asking them, going over it, making sure that they understand everything, and then have them complete that section and do the same thing as you did before. Then review it, show them your revisions, and then so you can submit the PMG to your chapter management VP. So that's kind of how you implement a project. And then the last but not least is promoting your ID section to the chapter. You know, the more buzz you can make around ID, the more excitement you'll have from the rest of the chapter. So, you know, what do you promote? So you can focus on your projects in your area, past, present, and future. And, you know, and you're doing this through whatever mechanisms your chapter communicates with its your board communicates with the chapter. So is it a newsletter? Is it email? Is it social media group? Whatever it is, these are the things that you can promote within those communication methods. So again, focusing on your projects in your area, name drop. Everybody appreciates, you know, that they've put in a lot of work to do a project, your chapter members, and you know, recognizing them is great. So make sure you name drop and thank your chairs for actually chairing the project. And then you can always encourage your project chairs to write snippets for these whatever method of communication and have them talk about the project too and how it went, or if they're promoting it, how you know, promoting it for the upcoming, have them write something up for it. And then, you know, if you're in general, you know, if just to get your name out there as IDVP, tell a personal story or share your favorite quote that's around ID. You know, just kind of letting your chapter know that you're here. ID is thriving in your chapter. You know, you just want to get people excited about it, so that momentum can continue on. And then tips for being successful when you're promoting, just be prompt with everything, whether you're promoting a future project or a past project, you know, you want to do it quickly after the event. Always be positive. I think that's a no-brainer. And then if you're using a written communication method like a newsletter or on social media, just make sure you spell check and have somebody proofread. That's just a really good you know, good thing to do. You know, you're in front of your entire chapter. You want to put with your best foot forward. So that is all I have. So now you can go out and be the best ID VP for your chapter. You know, so those are some kind of tips that I have for you. The kind of how I ran ID when I was the ID VP. You know, so I hope you can take some tidbits away from this little training. And if you have any questions, you know, or want to discuss anything, I am here and I'm happy to do that with you. And then if there's any IDVPs on the call that, you know, oh, we did something different and this really worked out, love to hear that too. You know, we're a learning organization, so anything that can be thrown out is helpful. So with that, I will open up the floor. Thank you.
I just thought I would share really quick, Margie. You had mentioned, where are we going to put this list of a whole year's worth of ID ideas? We are going to put it on the Illinois JC website.
Okay, this little guy. I'm still sharing, right?
Yes, so we're going to put it on the website and then, you know, push it out through, you know, email and Facebook, and it'll be in the newsletter as well.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good ideas in here for each month. While there's a theme in the month, Kim has really done a good job of putting multiple ideas within each month. So there is an abundance of ideas out there. You know, it is just trying to find somebody to help run it. And then if the person running it isn't the trainer, then having to find somebody to train on it as well. You know, but, you know, that's why you have all the, you know, everything at your disposal. And I meant to mention for like when you're asking state board if they know anybody that can train. We also have a whole slew of senators that have, you know, a lot of experience too. So let's not forget about them. You know, so they're senators for a reason. So if they're, you know, ask the state board, and I don't know if there's a head senator person that we can, I don't know how that works. You know, if there's somebody in particular that knows all the senators and keeps track of all of that, that, you know, the IDVP could reach out to one person to get ideas from a senator that can help train on a particular thing. I don't know, is there anything, Sarah, is there like a head?
Not that I know of. no.
Okay, okay. But every chapter has senators, so reach out to any of your chapter senators. And I'm sure they all know each other and go to GAs together all the time. So I'm sure they can put you in the right direction. You know, there's never been a time where I'm like asking somebody that I'm like, oh, you know, can you help me with this? That somebody's just said no. It's always been like, nah, I don't know, but here's somebody that might know. So, you know, it's always worth asking. So anything else? Did you stop the recording, Zach?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop it now though, since
Okay,
there's no questions.
Okay.